Oh, yeah, I'm little, but I'm loud, and I'm proud. That's right. How you doing this morning? Hey, I am Ann Eller, and it is Monday. It is February 23rd. Boy, another week, and this Saturday is the last day of this month, I think. Or no, we got, oh, yes. Is it last day? I think so. Well, I'm in the wrong months. I was planning ahead here, so it looks like I would have to be on the wrong month. Yes, Saturday is the last day. Today is the 23rd. Yes, we are good, Ann. We are all good here, right here at WCRS Radio. Well, I got to tell you, I had a great weekend. If you were listening Saturday morning, you know that I was going to see Linda Gale Lewis, the sister of Jerry Lee Lewis. And, of course, I had to do a lot of research because I actually didn't know about Linda Gale Lewis. But by the time we were finished on Saturday, anybody that was listening, and I know there were a lot of you saying, wow, I didn't know Linda Gale Lewis was there either. Well, she was at the Fiddle and Bow Music Hall Saturday night. And we were celebrating Diane's birthday, so we decided to go over there to Olive Garden in Anderson. Had a lovely meal over there. Had fried lasagna. Lasagna. I'm sorry. As an appetizer. Kind of stood up and they had curled it around. It was pretty cool. It was delicious. Then we both had good meals, and then we had to splurge on dessert because it was Diane's birthday, of course. From there, we went back to Honeypath and had scored a great interview, if I do say myself, with Linda Gale Lewis. And we're going to have her on the radio again. She was just a delight to talk to about her life, about her brother. So we're going to be probably going to play that Tuesday afternoon. So FYI on Meet Me at the Diner, that's kind of my tentative plan. It will be a video and audio. We sat there in the green room of the Fiddle and Bow Music Hall. Now, let me tell you, if you haven't been to the Fiddle and Bow, you need to go there. They have all kinds of great concerts. 115 seats, so it means there's not a bad seat in the house. You are right up close and personal, and it is gaining quite a reputation on the music circuit as a place to come to. So he really scores some great artists. So we got to talk to her before the show, and she did not disappoint in the show at all. 78 years young, still can take her foot and put it up on the piano. I'm telling you, it was a show and a half. Plus, she told stories about her brother, Jerry Lee Lewis, all these things. It was just great. All right, so that was Saturday. Sunday, I kind of chilled, which was kind of nice. The wind came in. It got cold. I'm telling you what, this weather is just crazy. I don't know what the flowers are thinking. I just don't know what the flowers are thinking at all because they are just trying to make up their mind. Is it winter or is it spring? I mean, we've had magnolias out. I was down out there in the field. These little white flowers were coming out. That was Saturday. I said, you better get prepared because you're not going to stay out very long. Today, right now, it is 32 degrees, so it's freezing out there. Feels like 23 degrees. That wind chill is bitterly cold. We are looking to get up to a high today of 46 and a low of 22 tonight. So we're back in frozen weather, people. Frozen weather. That's what I have to say. So be prepared. Make sure you turn if you've got pipes that are exposed, make sure you turn the water on so you're just letting it run just a very little bit so it won't freeze. Animals, make sure you get your animals where they are safe and out of the cold. That wind is terrible, terrible. The only thing I have to say is thank good we're not in New York City. You know, I've thought about this a lot. And, you know, they've got Mondani up there. And he's making all kinds of stupid mistakes because of his political affliction. Yeah, he's a socialist or a communist, depending on how you look at it. Anyways, you know, he has all these grand ideas on who's going to pay for what. Well, now they've got this huge snow problem with all this. They called it, what, a bomb cyclone that came through there, dumped all this snow. It is going to be a problem. They don't have enough money because he's deciding on spending his money on stuff that really should not be spending their money on. And so I thought about it, and I thought, is God trying to teach them a lesson up there? By giving them such a lovely snowstorm. Massachusetts is going to get a lot. I mean, there is just tons of snow all over the Northeast. So, but I was thinking about Mondani and his ideas about what is appropriate for government in today's world. I got several stories we're going to be talking about this morning about government in today's world. I want to talk about... I'll just tell you what we're going to try to talk to. I'm trying to get to all of them. We got a lot. I want to talk a little bit about the Olympics. They turned out very well for the United States. And after, what was it, 40-some years, the U.S. hockey team, the men's hockey team, the women's won gold. And I guess that's been a standard. But the men have been 40-some years since they won gold. They won gold on the hockey. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, all the medals that we did get, how they did. I did happen to notice that President Trump has already invited the team to the White House. So how about that? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to be talking about Ellen Weaver. Ellen Weaver kind of put her butt in a crack. Yes. She was called in front of a Senate committee on how she's handing out money. So I want to talk a little bit about that. Seems to be some angst and some interpretation of what the Senate and the House did. And she defended what she did. Senate's not too happy. They had her in front of the committee, as I said. Also, we're going to be talking a little bit about these... the decision that has been made by, I guess, the House and the Senate, because it's on its way to the governor's desk, about athletes and telling how much money the schools are making off the athletes and these endorsements. So I want to talk a little bit about that, because I think that's another one that points to some interesting aspects. Also, there was an article in the Index Journal that Jay Bender wrote, and not just for the Index Journal, but put out an article about transparency. Something that seems to be a problem. So those are some of the things we're going to talk about, and whatever else comes across my desk or somebody asks about, we'll be putting that together. So, let's get started. Let's get ready to rumble. So, and I want to talk about, before I get started, in case you have to step away, tomorrow, we're doing a lunch and learn. I haven't come up with the official Meet Me at the Diner title for this, but at 12 o'clock, we are going to be talking with Representative Sherry Biggs. This will not be on the radio. It will only be on Facebook Live. So we'll be doing that from, I think it's about a half hour, maybe 40 minutes, but somewhere in there, I'll be posting the link on that today. But that'll be at lunchtime tomorrow. Then at 5 o'clock, we'll have Meet Me at the Diner, and we'll replay her interview right here live on the radio, and, of course, it'll be live on Facebook. And we also will have the interview for for Linda Gale Lewis. So we've got two great interviews that we'll be playing tomorrow afternoon. Wednesday, we got a Power Pack show. This is going to be about GPA's upcoming event, Bourbon, Boots, and Blues. It's the 3 Bs, and you can leave your boots on when you come to this event. All right, so who's going to be here for that? We're going to have E.G. Kite, who is a blues band. They will be coming to talk on the radio about their band, we'll play some music, we'll have a good time. That's part of the show. Then we're going to be talking bourbon because bourbon is part of the show. They're going to have a bourbon tasting. You're going to see bottles of bourbon at the show. I don't know if they'll bring that bottle of bourbon that expensive here, but they have $10,000 bottles of bourbon. Well, who is it, Ann? Wesley Timmerman. So he did this last year, wanted to do it again this year. So they are really amping up the bourbon tasting and this will be at the Inn on the Square. They will be in studio. We'll be talking bourbon. I don't know if I'll get a taste or not, but I'm looking forward to the show. So that's on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, Jane Jenkins Herlong. We're going to have a little comedy break with Jane, talking about some of her books, what she's doing. So I hope you'll join us for all those shows. Those will all be at 5 o'clock. Tuesday, though, we will be doing that Lunch and Learn with Sherry Biggs, 12 o'clock. What do you think about that? I think that's pretty cool. Sometimes it's hard to get our politicians on the air at 5 o'clock, so I've opened up another time slot, and guess what? They're going, I like it, Ann, I like it. I do too. Why not, right? What else do I have to tell? Anyways, let's talk about some of these things that are out there. I like to talk about the Olympics. You know, the United States was in third place for the medal count. But you know what? They amped it up. And did a great job. So we want to talk about that. The surprise, I think, to a lot of people, although not a surprise, I'm sure to our U.S. hockey team was, they won. They won the gold medal. So that was huge. Even when I don't have the whole story here in front of me, just from hearing news tips. Even when one of the guys got, 2 of his teeth? It's at least one. For some reason, I think it's 2 of his teeth knocked out. Is that unbelievable? I think that's pretty unbelievable. So the 2026 Winter Olympics are officially over. That's right. Team USA delivered one of its strongest winter performances ever. The United States finished second overall in the medal standings with 33 total medals, 12 gold, 12 silver, 9 bronze. That's the most medals the U.S. has ever won in a winter game. Norway, well, you know, they are in the winter area, topped the medal with 41 total medals and 18 golds. Men's ice hockey captured gold for the first time since the Miracle on Ice in 1980, defeating Canada in overtime. The U.S. women also brought home hockey, beating Canada in another dramatic finish. Must be because, never mind, I'm not going to say it. We just won, and that's what's terrific, isn't it? That's what's terrific. On the slopes, Michaela Schifrin and other American alpine stars added to their legacy with podium finishes. In freestyle skiing, Team USA continued its dominance in aerials and moguls. God, to see them flying through the air brings me back to my childhood. It did. Anyways. Speed skater Jordan Stoltz delivered multiple medal performances, and American athletes reached the podium in figure skating, bobsled, snowboarding, and more. You know, that I saw a clip where a woman was pushing a car up a hill. And she was doing that for a workout because bobsleds are that heavy. Did you have any idea that a bobsled was that heavy, that it was akin to pushing a car? And it wasn't a little putt-putt car. I don't remember. It was some type of SUV that she was pushing. I think the high air that they have where they jump off a ski jump type and go flying through the air is absolutely phenomenal. So the games were filled with grit, redemption, and record-setting performances for the United States of America. From Milan Cortina 26, Team USA leaves with history made and momentum heading into the next Winter Games. And of course, by then, we will have already had the U.S. Games here in the Summer Games here in Los Angeles. Okay, so that's a little word about the Olympics. I know a lot of people aren't really excited when we talk about the Olympics, but it is truly amazing. Yeah, and this guy, he's got, what's he got, one or two? He's on TV right now. I think he's got two out. He said there's lots of good dentists. Yes, his quote was, there are lots of good dentists, because this happened during the gold-winning game. He said there's lots of great dentists. There's only this one opportunity to win a gold, so he just kept playing. And it's actually, I think wasn't he the goalie? And so he said he just had to stay in, and he was able to do a great job. So he kept away a score, I believe. So amazing, just amazing. But yeah, there's lots of good dentists. The opportunity to win gold only comes along every so often. Would you have made that choice? I'm trying to think. I try to put myself in those places sometimes, and I think 2 teeth out or go for the gold. The team, the country, everybody's depending on me. I don't know. I'd be worried about my teeth. But he did get it back. He did say that winning the gold was all about our country. So that's pretty cool. There seems to be a very big difference between people's attitude. Some were totally USA, Team USA, Country USA. There are a few out there that were not Team USA at all, but the majority, I think, were and spoke highly of it, and that's what you want. That's what you want. So anyways, that's a little bit about the Olympics, the Olympics here. Oh, what else did I have here? We're going to talk about some of those big stories, but let's see if I've got a couple of other little stories here. What did I have that I wanted to share with you? It takes me a second here because I get this all set up, from last night. I need to have a separate folder for stuff, all my shows. I just need to go ahead and get it done. Oh, yeah. Well, Andrew, former Prince Andrew, he was questioned, I think they said for 11 hours. And I guess they did release him. He's out on bond, but he is going to have to face a court here, according to what they're saying. But, his wife, divorced wife, Sarah Ferguson, reportedly has checked herself into a pricey wellness clinic in Switzerland amid more scrutiny about her ties to Jeffrey Epstein. How about that? The former Duchess of York, 66, has left the UK and checked herself into the Paracelsus Recovery Clinic in Zurich. It focuses on mental health recovery and offers personalized, discreet care for those struggling with dependencies and addictions, eating disorders, and chronic conditions and disabilities. Listen to this. The Ultra Lux Rehab Center reportedly costs over $17,000 a night. And she supposedly was suffering from lots of anxiety. A source told the outlet that Ferguson actually had already spent extended time there after Christmas until the end of January, and she got back out. She says she always feels at home at $17,000 a day at this clinic and knows she'll get love and attention there as well as expert health treatment when she's feeling her most vulnerable. So Ferguson's ex-husband, the former Prince Andrew, was arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office on his 66th birthday. He was questioned for 11 hours at a police station before he was released, and evidently she's feeling a little of the pressure, and well, she should, because I read where she was getting money payments from Epstein on almost a monthly basis there for a while. Ferguson could possibly face questions from the Thames Valley Police, who arrested her ex, if she returns to the UK. How about that? While there is no evidence of any criminal wrongdoing by Ferguson, the police may have a basis for questioning Sarah Ferguson, as she may be a relevant witness in this case, a top barrister told them. So there you go. So of course she's all worried about what she would say or not say. They may want to ask her some questions. While Sarah Ferguson would have not been in public office at that time, I don't know what she knows and if she has disclosed anything in emails consistent with her role as an ex-royal and Andrew's ex-wife. So anyways, she's been divorced from former Prince Andrew since 1996, stripped of her Duchess of York title amid the Epstein scandal back in October of 2025. So, a source told, what was this, the New York Times, that she will always stand by Andrew and will always have love for him. Yeah, right. Let's see. Well, that's just a little side story here that I thought was just kind of interesting. But I read somewhere that she may have gotten payments, that she had we don't know what kind of relationship. Maybe it was just a good relationship since Epstein was getting good information from Prince Andrew. I don't know. But that was, I thought that was an interesting story, but that she had checked herself into a facility, 17,000, she may have to stay there forever. Anyways, at $17,000 a night, or until the money runs out. That's right, the money runs out. So, anyways, I thought that was rather an interesting story. What else did we have? Yes, that was that story. This is a statewide story that I was surprised about, and I'm sure some of the shrimpers down there on the coast are not surprised. But shrimp at 22 South Carolina restaurants were tested. Only 5 were selling the real deal. So, this has been a problem that has been raised and has been raised, and the Shrimpers organization here in South Carolina had wanted to have these shrimp tested. Well, they've done several rounds of testing, and one round, and this is the second round of genetic testing of shrimp served at more than 20 Charleston restaurants has revealed that most continue to sell farm-raised imports, saying, however, guess what, that they are local shrimp, with some passing off the food as wild and locally caught. The Charleston findings are part of a broader multi-state investigation into shrimp mislabeling and substitution fraud by CD Consulting at the behest of the Southern Shrimp Alliance, a not-for-profit coalition of shrimp businesses in 8 southern coastal states. So anyways, the bottom line is they checked all these companies, and only 70% of the seafood expenditures in the United States are in restaurants. So having restaurants tell the truth about what they're serving is paramount. Consumers should be empowered to decide whether they want to eat and support the highly regulated and inspected American wild-caught fisheries versus very low inspection rate imported shrimp they are likely from ponds in Indonesia, Vietnam, or India. So, that's why the U.S. shrimping industry is backing undercover investigations on the origin of seafood being sold across the 8 states. And last year, shrimp served 44 restaurants were randomly selected in the Charleston area for testing. The results showed 4 of the 44, or 9%, were serving wild-caught shrimp in American waters, while the rest were serving farm-raised imports. Of the 40 restaurants serving imports, only 15 verbally acknowledged using imported shrimp. So, for this year's results, Acme Low Country Kitchen, Isle of Palms, Grace and Grit, Mount Pleasant, and Rappahannock Oyster Bar in Charleston, all were serving, I guess, local shrimp. 2 restaurants, Armand Street Fish and Raw Bar in Charleston and Mount Pleasant Seafood, were serving American shrimp after selling imports at the time of the original test. So, if you're interested, they're actually going on to Myrtle Beach. I just find it interesting that we're taking the time to actually determine local or non-local. So officials with the Alliance and the South Carolina Shippers Association said the testing demonstrates a need for better labeling laws. Well, I think we need that across the board. So in light of widespread false advertising of shrimp, we hope the Carolinas and Florida will follow suit on checking this. So that's a story that I found interesting. But right now we're going to hear a quick word from our sponsors. When we come back, I'm going to be talking about last week. Ellen Weaver was here in town on Monday. She was here with the Republican Women's Club doing a speech. And then one day next week, I don't remember whether it was Tuesday or Wednesday, she was in front of a Senate committee down there in Columbia talking about the money that were given out to homeschool students. So I thought you might find that interesting. Goes to a lot of issues that we're having on oversight, falls right in on the oversight issue. So we're going to be talking about that. So here's what I want to do. We're going to take a quick break so that we can let our sponsors get their words out there. My goodness, we've got a lot of things going on in Greenwood, and we right here on WCRS are covering them. So did you know that Tim Tebow is coming to Greenwood? That's right. Check it out.
Are you passionate about life? Always wanted to see Tim Tebow in person, not on a screen? Hi, I'm Brenda, and Road to Life 2026 with Tim Tebow is an evening that brings our community together to stand for life and support those facing unexpected pregnancies. Join Crossroads on April 16th at Lander University Finnishorn Arena for a night with Tim Tebow as he inspires us to live fearlessly and put love in action. Every life has a story and every choice matters, and living fearlessly through compassion can change a future. Learn more about sponsorship opportunities and get tickets at crossroadspregnancycenter.org. This year, our sound is brought to you by Andy Sikora with Cal Productions. See you there Thursday, April 16th.
Are you the owner of or have an interest in real estate, whether a house or open farmland, along with multiple people who have not helped you pay any property tax or assisted in maintaining the property in 10 years or more? Maybe the property is listed in the names of deceased grandparents and other family members ignore your pleas for assistance in maintaining the property. The law office of Randall Roselle Williams can help relieve the burden of carrying the load by yourself and obtain the fairness that you deserve. I can help you place the title to your property in the names of the proper person or person. The success of each case is dependent, however, upon the facts unique to your situation. Call me, Randall Roselle Williams, at 864-227-9156 to schedule an appointment to discuss your case. The law office of Randall Roselle Williams is a solo practice located at 110 Riley Avenue, Greenwood.
Trashy Lake Greenwood or pristine Lake Greenwood? The choice is yours, Greenwood. Your opportunity to keep Lake Greenwood beautiful is in your hands. Join us on Saturday, March 14th for the really big annual Lake Greenwood cleanup. Donate yours and your family's time. All supplies provided for the cleanup, and yes, there is a free lunch. When? Saturday, March 14th, 9 to 12. Register at our Facebook page, Keep Greenwood County Beautiful, or our website, keepgcb.com. Free lunch provided by Break on the Lake, Papa John's, Chick-fil-A, and Pepsi of Greenville. Be the solution, Greenwood, not the pollution.
There's no place like this place anywhere.
Hey, did you see Bob? He just tried a yoga class, upside down.
And Jane just swam 10 laps while juggling her water bottle.
Somehow, I feel like I belong here.
You do. This is the Greenwood YMCA, where everyone's having fun and everybody knows your name.
There's no place like this place anywhere. Come join the fun and make 2026 the year you belong. At the Greenwood YMCA, there's no place like this place.
Keep on sharing.
The phones are open.
Keep on laughing.
Give us a call.
You gotta keep on caring. As long as you've got a voice, don't ever stop. As long as you've got truth, don't ever stop.
You're on the air.
As long as you've got love.
What's on your mind?
Don't ever stop. Don't ever stop.
What do you think?
Oh, that's right. What do I think? Well, I think that the South Carolina senators confronted Superintendent Ellen Weaver over homeschool voucher funding. Now, South Carolina senators sharply questioned State Superintendent Ellen Weaver after her department allowed homeschool students to receive $7,500 education vouchers, even though lawmakers said that was never intended. So what happened? The voucher program was designed to help students attend private schools outside of their zoned public school. Lawmakers said they explicitly prohibited the funds from being used for homeschooling. However, the Department of Education, i.e. Superintendent Ellen Weaver's office, interpreted parts of the law as allowing home education under a broader personalized learning clause. At the start of the year, 1,182 students out of 10,000 total voucher recipients used funds for homeschooling. Senators said they intended the number to be 0. So Senate Majority Leader Shane Massey told Weaver this is not a legal use, it's a trust issue. Lawmakers argued that during the Senate debate last year, sponsors repeatedly said homeschool students could not receive the money. Weaver moved forward with the program anyway. Senators say they were unaware this interpretation was being implemented until after the session ended. Weaver defended her decision, saying her legal team, and I find this interesting, her legal team, she's got a whole legal team, believed denying homeschool applicants would violate the law. Her department is simply executing the law as written, according to Superintendent Ellen Weaver. The senators strongly disagreed. So the senators questioned whether there were sufficient safeguards in place, arguing parents could theoretically take the money, provide little or no instruction. Students must take a test, but there's no consequences for failing it. Lawmakers say the program created what they call an unintended homeschool option 4 without the oversight required in traditional homeschooling laws. The department has removed 78 students for failing to submit test data, referred 2 cases of suspected fraud to law enforcement. During the hearing, while the senators were questioning Weaver, SLED announced the arrest of a woman accused of, get this, using $6,547 in voucher funds, purchasing Apple products and electronics, and then reselling them for a profit. Yes, this was things that were supposed to be used for homeschooling a child. She faces breach of trust charges. This fueled criticism that oversight may be insufficient. You think? Oh my gosh. So, Ellen Weaver is up for re-election this year. Senate leaders wanted the controversy could strain future cooperation. Lawmakers are considering legislation to permanently eliminate homeschool eligibility under the voucher program. Senators stopped short of threatening budget cuts, but made clear trust between the legislature and the superintendent has been damaged. So, that's where we're at. South Carolina senators questioned the state superintendent's decision to allow homeschoolers to receive $7,500 in education vouchers. Some lawmakers say they never intended. Over 1,100 students used funds for at-home education, raising concerns about oversight and accountability. The issue escalated when state investigators announced an arrest for alleged misuse of voucher funds. Senators now say there is a trust problem and may move closer to what they call an unintended loophole. Isn't this unbelievable? Isn't this unbelievable? That I think really you could sum up, and I realize I'm using a mass generalization here. Oversight is the problem. And you may remember last year when we were talking about funding for public schools, and they worked very hard, the public schools did, to try to cover the shortfall from the state government. And really, I need to follow up on that with our school district and see where they are for funding as this year comes up. Because here we are giving money out. And my point is, I wasn't even going to go there. My point was, it doesn't really matter about that. But the oversight seems to always be the downfall of things. Interpretation of the law seems to be a downfall. So money is given out, and we, the people of the state of South Carolina, are the ones providing this money. So where is the oversight to make sure that the money is being spent correctly? The senators were not even aware of this. I don't know what tipped them off, but something tipped them off that this is, well, maybe they got a report and they were like, oh my God. Senators have said they were explicit about homeschooling was not included, but somehow Ellen Weaver's group, her legal team, she called it, were able to see a way around it. So this is something that is going to have to be talked about. It's going to have to be straightened out. And as we said, Ellen Weaver is up for re-election this year, and she wants to come on the air. And I hope she's going to want to talk about this because it is a interesting topic. All right, now there is one other topic I wanted to talk about here. Where is my notes on that one? This has to do with sports. And again, has to do with money, folks. You know, yeah, there's that old song, "My name makes the world go round." Well, money keeps being spent, and the question is, I think, is that whether schools, colleges, have to divulge how much money they are making off their athletes and how much the athletes are making. I mean, this is that whole issue. Now, the other day, I believe that it went through the Senate and it had already been through the House, and they said no, that they didn't need to. So the question is, will Henry McMaster, the governor for the great state of South Carolina, will he actually sign this and put it into law? So here's the thing. Then Jay Bender wrote an article. He is with all our news organizations and puts out opinions. He's very well respected. I think he works for Carolina USC and also puts out pieces on this. Jay Bender has argued that the bill allows colleges to keep name, image, and likeness payments secret. And the question is that a betrayal of public trust? So he said the bill would hide millions of dollars in public university spending from public view. Now, again, we support these colleges and universities. Do we have a right to know that X amount of dollars is coming from here? Or are we in the position of, you just pay the money, let us do what we want with it, and that's it, you don't have it, you, the public, do not have any other say about it? The South Carolina Freedom of Information Act was created to ensure transparency in public institutions. Public colleges like USC and Clemson are public bodies under state law. Payments made by those institutions should be subject to public scrutiny. The bill was fast-tracked with no public hearings or debate. Secrecy undermines trust between the General Assembly and the public. So this is part of his article. There it is in the Index Journal, as I'm sure it is across the state. He warns this creates a fourth homeschool option style loophole. The reason I put these two stories together is because they have to do with trust, meaning a new structure without legislative guardrails, similar logic to the school voucher. He also argues, even if name, image, and likeness, NIL, isn't directly from tax dollars, it is tied to public institutions. Hiding details damages the credibility of lawmakers. This does not save college sports. It protects schools' competitive interests at the expense of transparency. So, the Senate voted 30-13 to exempt NIL payments from public records. All 13 no votes were Republicans. Colleges would only have to disclose total school-wide payouts, not individual or team breakdown. The bill was fast-tracked with no public hearings, as I said, and Governor McMaster has expressed concern about the secrecy, but has not said whether he'll sign it. And the reason that this bill came up was a lawsuit was filed requesting USC disclose athletic payments. Colleges argue disclosure would hurt recruiting competitiveness. I don't know. I think this is kind of a slippery slope what we're on. An opinion piece this week by Jay Bender argues that allowing colleges to keep those name, image, and likeness payments confidential is a betrayal of public trust and a violation of the spirit of South Carolina's Freedom of Information Act. Excuse me. Meanwhile, supporters of the bill say public disclosure would put our schools at a competitive disadvantage in recruiting. The Senate has voted to shield individual payments, though the governor has expressed concerns about secrecy. So that is kind of where we're at on this. What do you think about this? Do you think that it should be private, or should they have to disclose this? This all came about when in 2021, this name, image, and likeness rules changed nationwide after legal challenges. Athletes can earn money. Universities can help facilitate deals. And as of the 2025, colleges can direct share revenue with athletes up to about $20.5 million per school annually under the federal settlement. That's what this South Carolina legislation is about, whether those payments made by public universities must be disclosed under public record laws. So the other thing I think that it does blur the amateur versus professional sports. It creates inequities between programs. It reduces transparency in public institution, and it changes the nature of college athletics. Yes, that's true. Some argue it's fair. Athletes generate huge revenue. It also levels the playing field, and it protects athletes' earning rights. So, what do you think about this? What do you think? Key question is why are colleges, should they be shielded from exposing how much money? I think it's a big question, and I think that it's one that deserves more discussion. You can always tell, in my humble opinion, you can always tell when the Senate or House is doing something that's not really quite right. Guess what? They fast-track that thing right through there like, it never even existed. And they hope that nobody is watching. Well, the difference I think that has happened in society is that people are watching. Just take what's happened here in Greenwood, in Greenville, in Spartanburg, on the county council, city council levels. People are showing up and wanting to be heard. So this idea that you just fast track something through and people not get it is not happening. Just take what happened over in Abbeville last week. A solar farm was turned down, did not get the appropriate approvals to be able to proceed. I find it interesting, actually, what is happening to the solar farm that Duke Power was putting in with that huge piece of property. We have heard nothing. The other day I did hear that Duke, quote, is coming back to council to ask for, some gimmies to be able to make it worth their while to do this. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. But people are standing up and questioning things. There is a spirit of involvement in politics by everyday people who are footing the bill. Personally, I think that is terrific. I have been surprised about how the reaction has been from our county councils, not only Greenwood, but Greenville, Spartanburg, all these councils around that have, here in Greenwood, I can remember a statement by our chairman that, it's so nice to have people here to, oh my God, they didn't exactly say that, but the point is, oh my God, we got so many people here, we're going to have to do something about this, folks, and here's the new rules. I find it interesting that the change that has come about. But I think anytime the public is involved, that people are engaged, it is a good thing. And being able to explain what is happening is part of the process. So, as things move forward, What will the governor do? Will he sign this bill or will he turn it around? That is the question. That's on the athletes. On Ellen Weaver and the Senate, how will this impact the money given out this year for school vouchers? Will they really do anything about it, or are they just on record of saying we don't like it? So, that's a little bit about some of the things that I found interesting for our state. There's so that's how I'm going to have to wrap it up. But I thought that you might like to hear about this. I've got one more thing I'm just going to put out here that I put together last night. What's happening in this debate with name, image, and likeness? It allows college athletes to be paid for endorsements and promotional use of their personal brand. After a federal settlement last year, colleges can now share up to $20 million a year directly with athletes. Here in South Carolina, the legislature has voted to exempt individual nil payments from public records law. That means public universities like USC and Clemson would only have to disclose the total amounts paid to athletes, not individual or team breakdowns. Supporters of the bill say releasing detailed information could hurt recruiting and put our schools at a competitive disadvantage compared to other states. Opponents argue that public universities operate with public funding and should remain transparent about how money flows through their institutions. At the heart of this issue is a tension between transparency, competitiveness, and athlete privacy. The governor has expressed concern about secrecy, but has not yet announced whether he will sign the bill or not. So, that's kind of where we're at on that, and I thought it might be something you might like to weigh in on. If you've got an opinion one way or the other, guess what? It's too late. The Senate and the House have already fast-tracked that through. It's sitting on McMaster's desk to be signed or not to be signed. So I guess we just have to wait and see where this goes. But interesting how our Senate and House work when they're trying to do something, in my opinion, didn't really get enough input. And yet we have a issue like the CBD, the hemp, the drinks in the gas stations and everything, which is just being torn to shreds. Trying to do that. There's no fast track in that because there's too much money involved. Well, I contend there's a lot of money involved in these athletic things. Athletics. I have no problem in the athletes getting paid. I think that's a great thing. But how is it affecting the bottom line of the colleges? No, the colleges are not, they are paying students, and so that's good. But really, there is a question, I think, too, of the professionalism. Where does that put them as far as student athletes from professionals? Does college sports qualify as just a student thing, or student, a good time, or is it now a huge business? It's a huge business, folks. Anyways, thought you might be interested in that. Thought the article this morning about Ellen Weaver was also very, very interesting and one we should talk about. Now, a couple more things that I just want to cover. So to make sure that you are aware of some of these things, let's see if I can pull up a couple of things here. On Friday, again, I had a great time over there at the Fiddle and Bow with Linda Gale Lewis, sister of Jerry Lee Lewis. Just phenomenal, and we're going to play that interview, I hope, tomorrow afternoon. It was a video interview, so we'll go live on Facebook and live on the radio tomorrow afternoon, 5 o'clock. Also, we'll have an interview from Sherry Biggs. So, coming up, is, where is that one? Oh, no, that's not the one I want. I want to tell you about the Greenwood YMCA, Get Moving with Self. They are going to have a program on Nutrition and Lifestyle Friday, this Friday, February 27th at 12 p.m. This is an open to the public. Anybody can go. It says mark your calendars for Get Moving with Self at Greenwood Family YMCA at 12 noon. Dr. Jennifer Jones of Family Healthcare Savannah Lakes will lead a discussion on nutrition and lifestyle, sharing tips to help you build healthier habits and improve your overall wellness. This event is open to the public. YMC membership is not required. And go to their website, YMCA, or I guess Self Regional. Get Moving with Self of the Lakelands. This is a partnership between Self and the Y. It really is a great program. They've done several of these. They have another one coming up this Friday, so I hope you will check that out. By the way, did you know there was a new baseball team coming to the Greenwood recreational facility? That's right. This is Blue Ridge League. The Blue Ridge League is headed to Greenwood. This week, the league announced the addition of a new franchise at historic Legion Field in Greenwood, beginning with the 2026 season under a multi-year facility agreement with Greenwood County. The soon-to-be-named Greenwood Club will compete as a full BRL member, bringing high-level college woodbat baseball back to one of Carolina's most storied ballparks. Legion Field previously served as the home to the affiliated Greenwood Braves from 1968 to 1979, and yes, that was heard right here on WCRS, and the Greenwood Pirates from 1981 to 1983. So, this is a new chapter, begins in 2026. So that is a new league that will be coming here to Greenwood for this season. We'll get more details as that comes out, but I thought that was an interesting little tip. And by the way, the Humane Society is doing a pet calendar. That's right. So you have until March 6th to enter your pet. They're voting from 3/7 to 3/28. And so get your photos for the perfect shot of your pet. Dogs, cats, and other mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, and fish are all welcome. That's right. You can enter your potbelly pig if you so desire. The most voted pet gets the cover. The top 4 pets with the most votes in each category, dogs, cats, and others, will be featured in their 2027 calendar. So you have until March 6th to turn your photos in. Voting is by the public from March 7th through March 28th. So that's what you need to do. And then, of course, you can order your calendars, too. So that is through the Humane Society. So check that out on their website. That was another thing I wanted to make sure that you knew about. Also, the great success this last Saturday celebrating George Washington's birthday. They had a great time. Karen Petit was reading and doing had her children's book, Celebrate America. Louis, the star of the book, was there. It was awesome, awesome, awesome. So that's what I got here today. I could go on, but I think we're gonna finish it up. We're gonna finish it up. Let's see. We've got one more message that came in here. Let's see what it says. Okay, well, I guess we won't bring that one up. So we're gonna kind of pass on that. But there is a somebody did comment, 17,000 a night. That's a hospital stay here in Greenwood. Oh, come on. Had to depend on the quality here or where you're at. I mean, maybe, but my goodness, that is in response to Ferguson checking herself into a mental health facility in Switzerland, where she will be protected from the media, protected from the police. She will be in trying to get her health back together, yes. And as long as she can keep paying $17,000 a night, she will not have to worry about, are the police going to come and question her? All right, that is going to do it for me. The Chick-fil-A, I did want to mention this. Chick-fil-A is still giving away those free chicken biscuits. You have to order it, I think, through your app. But they are still doing free chicken biscuits through Saturday. And tonight, they will be doing bingo from 6 to 7:30 at Chick-fil-A. You can join them, have dinner and bingo. It's for the whole family. So pretty cool. I hope you have a great day. I hope you will tune in the morning. I got a lot to do. If you've got a news tip about a story, something you think I should talk about, I would love to hear from you at 864-332-9355. That's 864-332-9355. Penny goes, get the heck out of here and feed me. She just stood up here. Do you realize what time it is, Ann? Yes, I do. So we're going to drop the curtain, Penny, and we are going to play our closeout song here. And I hope y'all have a good day. Stay warm. It's cold out there, baby. Bye-bye, everybody.